Ethan, have you noticed how different it is working on a team when everyone's remote? It feels like we're all on different pages sometimes.
Yeah, I've definitely felt that. It's weird, right? I mean, we have all these tools, video calls, chats, shared documents, but somehow it's still hard to stay coordinated.
Exactly. It's like even though we're more connected than ever, something's missing. I feel like the face to face interactions helped us understand each other better. Now, I'm always second guessing what people mean in messages.
Same here. Text can be so misleading. You don't get the tone, the body language. Sometimes I wonder if someone's annoyed with me, but they're probably just being brief because they're busy.
Right? I've been overthinking so many emails lately. I miss those quick chats we used to have after meetings where you could clarify things immediately.
Those were helpful. Now, if something isn't clear, it takes way longer to sort it out. Plus, the time zone differences don't help. By the time I ask a question, someone's already logged off for the day.
That's been a big issue for me too. It's frustrating when you need quick feedback, but have to wait hours or even until the next day just to get a response. It slows everything down.
Exactly. And it's not like we can just walk over to someone's desk anymore. Everything feels more formal now, like you have to schedule a meeting just to ask a simple question.
Totally. I've started adding quick question to my messages to make them seem less formal, but even then I worry I'm interrupting someone's workflow.
Yeah, and then there's the pressure to always be online. It's like, even when we're done for the day, we're still expected to be reachable. I don't know about you, but I've had a hard time switching off.
Me too. I used to be able to leave work at work, but now that I'm working from home, it feels like it's always there. I'll be cooking dinner and suddenly remember something I forgot to do, and next thing I know, I'm back at my computer.
Exactly. There's no clear boundary anymore. It's like work and home life are blending into one, and it's tough to know when to stop.
I think that's part of why I've been feeling more stressed lately. It's not just the workload, it's the constant feeling that I should be doing something. I miss having a real break.
I feel you. We're always on, and it's exhausting. I think the remote setup has benefits, but we definitely need better strategies to cope with the downsides.
So, what do you think we can do to make this easier? There's got to be a way to work better remotely without losing our sanity.
Well, I've been trying a few things lately that have helped a bit. For one, I've started setting clear boundaries for myself. When the workday is over, I physically step away from my desk. No checking emails after hours.
That sounds great in theory, but I find it hard to resist the temptation. How do you stick to it?
Honestly, it wasn't easy at first, but I've found that if I create a routine, it becomes more manageable. I've set a specific time to clock out, and I try to follow it every day, just like when I was going into the office.
That makes sense. I think I need to establish a routine too. Right now, I'm working at random times, and it's throwing everything off. Maybe if I have a set schedule, I'll feel more in control.
Definitely. And it's not just about the work hours. I've also started making sure I take regular breaks, like actually stepping away from my computer during lunch. It sounds simple, but it makes a big difference.
I've been guilty of eating lunch at my desk lately. I thought it would help me stay productive, but I just end up feeling more drained by the end of the day.
Exactly. We need that mental break. It's not just about getting away from the screen, it's about letting our brains recharge.
You're right. I'm going to start taking proper lunch breaks from now on, and maybe I'll try your idea of setting a clear end to my workday too.
It's worth a shot. I've also been trying to improve communication with the team. Since we can't have those quick hallway conversations anymore, I've started scheduling short check-ins with people to make sure we're all aligned.
That's a good idea. I feel like some things get lost in translation over email or chat. A quick call could clear things up a lot faster.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be a long meeting, just 5 or 10 minutes to touch base. It's been helping me avoid misunderstandings and delays.
I think I'll try that too. It sounds like a great way to keep everyone on the same page without adding too many meetings to the calendar.
Yeah, the goal is to stay connected without overloading ourselves. Too many long meetings can just make things worse.
Agreed. I've sat through way too many pointless meetings lately. It feels like people think more meetings mean better communication, but sometimes it's the opposite.
Exactly. We need to be more intentional with our time. Short, focused conversations are way more effective than hours of talking in circles.
Absolutely. It's all about quality over quantity. You know, all this talk about remote work makes me wonder, do you think this is the future? Like, are we ever going back to how things were before?
That's a good question. I think remote work is here to stay, at least in some form. Companies have seen that it works, and a lot of people actually prefer the flexibility. But I don't think we'll go fully remote forever. There's still something to be said for in-person collaboration.
Yeah, I agree. There are definitely advantages to working from home, but I miss the energy of being around people. The spontaneous brainstorming sessions, the quick problem solving, you can't replicate that over Zoom.
Exactly. I think the future might be a hybrid model where people can choose to come into the office a few days a week and work from home the rest of the time. It gives you the best of both worlds.
That would be ideal. I'd love the flexibility to work from home, but still have the option to go into the office when I need that face-to-face interaction.
Yeah, and I think that flexibility is going to become more important. People have realized that they can be just as productive at home, and they don't want to give up that freedom.
Totally. Plus, it's a huge time saver. I don't miss commuting at all.
Oh, same. I used to spend an hour in traffic every day. Now, I can use that time to do something more productive or just sleep in a little longer.
Exactly. It's nice to have that extra time for yourself. I've started picking up new hobbies because I'm not stuck in traffic anymore.
That's awesome. What have you been doing with your newfound free time?
I've been getting into baking, actually. It's something I've always wanted to try, but I never had the time before. Now I bake at least once a week, and it's become my way to unwind after work.
That's so cool. I've been trying to get back into reading. I used to read a lot, but I stopped when work got too busy. Now I'm making an effort to read at least a little every day.
That's great. I think finding those small things that bring us joy outside of work is so important, especially when we're all stuck at home more.
Exactly. It helps create that balance we were talking about earlier. Work is important, but it's not everything.
For sure, I think if we can figure out how to keep that balance, remote work could be a really positive change.
Yeah, as long as we keep the human element in mind. Technology is great, but nothing replaces real connection.
Definitely. Here's hoping we can find a way to combine the best of both worlds, technology and real human connection. It's all about balance, right?
Exactly. I think we're getting there, slowly but surely. We just need to keep finding ways to adapt and stay connected, even when we're physically apart.
Yeah, and I think conversations like this help. It's reassuring to know we're all figuring it out together, instead of feeling like we have to solve everything on our own.
Totally. We're all in the same boat, and the more we communicate, the better it gets. Who knows? Maybe we'll look back at this time and realize it taught us a lot about flexibility and collaboration.
I hope so. I've definitely learned a lot already about myself, how I work, and what I need to stay balanced. It's been a challenge, but also a learning experience.
Same here. I think we're all coming out of this a little more resilient and adaptable. And who knows? Maybe we'll keep some of these positive changes long after everything goes back to normal.
I like that idea. It's nice to think that something good can come out of all the challenges we've faced.
Absolutely. Sometimes the toughest times bring the most growth. We've just got to stay open to it.
Agreed. Well, thanks for the chat, Ethan. I feel a lot better about how things are going now.
Anytime, Sophia. I'm glad we could talk it through. Let's keep supporting each other as we figure this out.
For sure. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and stay tuned for the upcoming episodes to keep improving your English. And remember, listening, practice, and improve.